First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning to you and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's a Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso talking about the forecast. There's been a lot of stuff that we've been focusing on, including rip currents, including actually a comfortable day today.
It's beautiful out there now.
Yes, the clouds are starting to move in, and it's going to look a little cloudier as we go through the day, but I don't think too much. But the big story is, of course, what it looks like outside. Take a look at that right now. The shake to the camera here from Orange Beach, Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network. Wow. A great look at an aerial view of rough surf at the beach, and even you see this little gap here, almost evidence of maybe some current going out. That would be an example of a rip current here. So 72 degrees right now in Orange Beach, an east wind at 18 miles per hour. Dew point of 52 feels like 72 degrees right now. Temperatures this afternoon go up a few more degrees. We'll get up to 77 Calvert, 76 Mobile, 75 in Pensacola, 75 in Gulf Shores. The winds at this moment, this is the current observation, 26 degrees, 26 miles per hour right now out of the east at Gulf Shores. 26. That is a very strong wind gust, and that is what's churning up the surf. It's that wind direction that really gets you there. 22 in Monroeville, 23 in Evergreen for your wind gust speed right now. 12, 13 for Bruton and Molino. So there have been some decent gusts happening as we've gone through the morning here. Looking at the next few hours, you're going to have sustained winds around 10 miles per hour. Wind gusts around that 20 mile per hour mark. And with all of this in place, we have a high surf advisory. Waves of 5 to 7 feet right now across the area. So it is going to be a very rough situation down at the beach. We encourage you to pay attention to those beach flags and make sure you read those signs when you head down to the beach. Just read what they say. They have important information on how to get yourself out of a rip current. What are rip currents in general? I mean, a whole bunch of stuff on how information that you need when you go down to the beach. And you need to check that out when you head down to the water. Other big headlines that we are tracking here. Possibility of some isolated showers later today. We're going to have some clouds around. We'll have the details on that coming up in just a bit, and also have a look at futurecasts coming up very shortly. Ashlyn?
All right, thanks, Nick. And like Nick just mentioned there, red flags are flying again today as rough surf continues all across our Gulf Coast beaches. Fox 10 Stephen Moody is live this morning in Gulf Shores with much more on the conditions. And Stephen, it seems like people are heeding those warnings, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's been a busy morning so far here, but thankfully no issues. Now, like we've been talking about all day, that rip current risk has remained high here in Gulf Shores, prompting people to find other ways to enjoy their time here. Red flags are out, and so are the lifeguards, as life-threatening surf conditions continue to impact our beaches. Most drownings are caused by rip currents, according to the Gulf Shores Beach Rescue. That's why they're asking people to stay out of the water. One family visiting from Georgia decided to follow that advice and trade swimming in for some baseball.
Riptide is probably pretty bad, so it's very important. Yep, you got to stay safe. The ocean is no joke.
For another family, they had no issues just watching the water from a distance because they know just how bad it can get.
I'm from Lake Michigan, and I know how, like, if you even get stuck in the undertow for like that, you're gone. So I would, stay clear.
Don't go out far because you think you might be able to go out farther, but it will catch you and it will take you out.
Oh yeah.
From experience, we know.
Besides not getting in the water, the biggest piece of advice parents have is to just pay attention.
You need to be careful and be on your P's and Q's. Watch your kids. Make sure they're not doing something they shouldn't be doing.
And if you're caught in a rip current, the National Weather Service says it is important not to panic. They say to relax and don't swim against the current. And they also say to swim towards the direction following the shoreline. And if you can't, yell for help. Of course, we're going to continue to follow along and monitor these conditions, and hopefully we'll have more a little bit later on when these conditions, you can expect them to improve. But for now, reporting live this morning here in Gulf Shores, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Thank you, Stephen, for those life-saving reminders there. We are continuing to learn more this morning about how authorities tracked down a Louisiana man accused of killing his mother and grandmother. Investigators in St. Bernard Parish say 22-year-old Lee Collins III shot and killed his mother, 55-year-old Trinell Collins, and his grandmother, 75-year-old Mary Major, following an argument on Easter Sunday. Authorities say Collins then fled the state in a stolen truck and ended up in Mobile. Police say he showed up at Alta Point Health Monday afternoon, where staff became suspicious he was using a false name and called Mobile police. Officers responded and identified him, learning he was wanted for that double murder.
From what we understand, that he was homeschooled, never had any problems with the family, any indications that there was any form of violence, particularly at this level.
Collins is now in Mobile County Metro Jail facing 2 counts of second-degree murder as Louisiana authorities work to extradite him back. And meanwhile, the murder trial of Darius Lucky Jr. is set to resume today. The judge paused the trial on Monday after a dispute over evidence the defense says it did not receive. The judge ordering prosecutors to turn over screenshots and a transcript of the lead detective's testimony to the defense. The defense says it wants to review the screenshots to try to determine when they were made and when they were posted. And also today, the Gilgo Beach serial killer is expected to plead guilty. Long Island architect Rex Heuermann is accused of murdering 7 women over the span of nearly a decade. A judge rejected his bid to throw out DNA evidence last year that prosecutors say prove he is the killer. Heuermann's former wife and daughter arriving at court, led by their attorney on Wednesday. He says his former wife will have a statement following the proceeding. Heuermann previously pled not guilty. He was arrested in 2023, more than 10 years after the bodies were first found. Well, Iran avoiding what President Trump warned would be a civilization-ending attack, agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire with the U.S. and Israel. And this morning, President Trump said he expects a U.S. team to hammer out the details at face-to-face peace talks with Iranian officials very soon. From Washington, Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more.
For the first time in 40 days, quiet skies over Tehran.
We hope that Iran chooses a lasting peace.
An 11th-hour ceasefire deal brought Iran back from the brink of annihilation.
We were locked and loaded. Iran accepted the ceasefire under overwhelming pressure.
President Trump vowed to launch attacks on Iran's infrastructure over the continued disruption of ship traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Since the enactment of the ceasefire, at least 2 ships have safely passed through, and that has stocks soaring and oil prices plunging. But Iran's 10-point peace plan calls for their continued control over the traffic in the strait.
I don't like the language the Iranians have been using. They're talking about how any passage by any tankers need to be coordinated with the Iranian military. When you consider that and this idea out there that the Iranians want to charge a toll, it doesn't seem to be free passage of the Straits of Hormuz.
Another part of the U.S. proposed deal, no uranium enrichment in Iran. And the U.S. will work with Iran to dig up and remove the enriched uranium that was buried deep underground following Operation Midnight Hammer in June.
It's always been non-negotiable that they won't have nuclear capabilities. And so right now it's buried and we're watching it. We know exactly what they have.
President Trump also issuing a new warning today that any country who supplies weapons to Iran will be hit with a 50% tariff on any goods sold to the U.S. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And meanwhile, Pope Leo calling the ceasefire, quote, a sign of true hope. The pontiff welcoming the ceasefire with Iran just hours after calling President Trump's 8 p.m. Eastern time deadline, quote, truly unacceptable. Pope Leo also calling for diplomacy and peace talks to continue with Iran and other conflicts. The Pope making those comments during his weekly general audience in St. Peter's Square. In the meantime, artillery strikes continue in Beirut as Israel vows to continue their attacks despite the ceasefire with Iran. Smoke there is seen billowing from the skyline of Lebanon's capital today, one day after a 2-week ceasefire deal again was agreed upon with Iran. Iran and Gulf Arab countries are still reporting new attacks, though. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying overnight that the ceasefire with Iran did not apply to Lebanon. After its flight around the far side of the moon, Artemis 2 made a ship-to-ship call to its other colleagues in space. This comes as the 4 astronauts on board prepare to return home. Fox News senior correspondent Jonathan Siri has this story.
Back in Earth's gravitational pull, Artemis 2 is on track to splash down in the Pacific Ocean on Friday. Today, NASA says the crew will perform manual piloting tests and evaluate garments designed to help maintain blood pressure and circulation in astronauts returning from space.
We're really looking forward to turning this around and flying again in a year, and then again a year after that.
On Tuesday, the Artemis crew had another historic day on board Orion as they spoke with their colleagues at the International Space Station.
We have you loud and clear. How about us?
We have you loud and clear as well.
It marked the first ship-to-ship call between a manned moon mission and astronauts living in low Earth orbit, and one NASA officials hope leads to a more connected space program.
Hopefully in the not too distant future, we've got communication going on between our moon base, their colleagues that are orbiting above them in a lander, relaying back maybe to other colleagues on an international or future commercial space station.
The space agency says Artemis 2 sent back a massive amount of pictures and data from its lunar flyby this week, and that information will help inform future missions.
To understand where can we go to maximize the scientific value. These ultimately get at chronology of the solar system.
NASA says the data will be collected and released in detailed reports within 6 months after splashdown. At the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
It's 11:11 now. Straight ahead, Chris Burns with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors joins us today as we talk about the stock market, why it's on a roller coaster. We have the live interview next, but first, Nick, a lovely day for our Wednesday.
Yes, a lovely day for a cat nap, I guess, always. This is just what we do now. This is our cat nap forecast here. If you want to submit your cat on the cat nap forecast, you can submit it on the Fox 10 weather app. This is Baby Cat submitted by our own Mike Brantley. Temperatures in the 70s, 75 degrees this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies out there. We'll have more on your forecast coming up shortly here on Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. The stock market has been on a bit of a roller coaster lately, and a big reason is what's happening overseas. Rising tensions between Iran and Israel are pushing those oil prices higher and creating uncertainty for investors. So what does that mean for your wallet, especially if you're retired or getting close? And joining us this morning is financial advisor Chris Burns with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors. Chris, as always, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
That's good to have you back for the month of April. A lot happening in the Middle East right now, as we know. Can you just kind of break that down for us?
Well, if you're not aware, we're at war or whatever you want to call it with Iran, and that has really put just a plug in oil, which has driven prices up. And anytime you see oil prices shoot up unexpectedly, you're going to see market turmoil like we've seen.
Yeah, and we've seen those markets react pretty much overnight, right?
Quickly. I mean, you saw what happened from that peace agreement this morning to what markets opened at. They opened up 2-3%, 1,000 points up.
Yeah, how does an event like this affect someone's portfolio?
Well, over the last probably month, they've seen their portfolio trend downward, depending on how much risk they're taking. It could have been small or it could have been substantial. Just like on the recoveries, which we're kind of seeing today, depending on how much exposure you have to the market, it could be a really, really good day or just another normal day. But I mean, the yo-yo effect, if you over like the last, say, 2 months, if you've seen your portfolio go up and down more than you've anticipated, maybe understanding how much risk you're taking proportionate to the market could maybe help soothe some of those concerns.
Okay, yeah, good to know. Even if you're not invested in oil specifically, people are still feeling this across the board, right?
Absolutely. I mean, some of the biggest areas that was hit was technology. And it's always kind of like the canary in the coal mine, right? It's such a high-flying sector of the market that whenever you start to see turmoil, it's some of the first things that do get pulled back. But when you take a look at the underlying market, the companies that are reporting their quarterly earnings has been relatively really good and robust. It's almost like we kind of did it to ourselves to what happened in Iran when kind of slowing down the market performance.
Yeah, you just mentioned markets have been pretty strong overall despite this event. So should retirees specifically be concerned right now?
I think the biggest thing that I would tell retirees is kind of break yourself up into a couple groups, or just your accounts into a couple groups. One, how much money do I need this year? Where's that going to come from? That should not have the same amount of risk that on monies that you might not need for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And then you may be fortunate enough where you've got a large retirement account. You may be looking at some dollars for very long term, or maybe next generation, or taking care of health care later on in life. Each one of those buckets should have a different level of risk. But if all of your accounts have kind of moved in lockstep together, you probably should explore, there might be a more, not sophisticated, but a much better way to manage the overall risk profile in your different accounts, especially when it comes to taxes too.
Okay, we talked about retirees, people looking to retire as well. What about people in general, maybe like myself?
For someone like yourself and I who have retirement accounts that we can't touch until we're 59 and a half, this is great buying opportunities. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but who really cares what happens in the next 6 months to the stock market for someone like yourself and I who have decades plus before we can touch these retirement accounts? Sure. So I always tell people my age or younger, hey, or even retirees, if you've got extra dollars, right, and you can take a much higher risk profile, these are long-term buying opportunities.
Yeah, I know you guys are busy advising, like always, I'm sure, especially during this time in history. If people are watching and they need your help, maybe they want to sit down with you and have that face-to-face conversation. How can you guys play a role in that?
Well, I think this is a good first start, seeing us here. But our best recommendation is go to our website, burnsstateplanning.com. It's going to have all of our television like this. It'll also take you to our YouTube, but it's also going to introduce you to the advisors, some of our certifications and things like that, so that you can kind of, one, learn about us, but then also come very prepared, like what items do you need to bring to that first meeting.
Chris, as always, we want to thank you for being here and sharing your insight with us this morning. Chris has been on the show many times talking about a wide variety of topics, and we have all of those posted on our website, fox10tv.com. We'll have a link posted to this interview as well. Chris, thanks.
Thank you for having me.
At 11:19, Pensacola Beach is a place where you'd want to stay on the sand and not get into the water. You can see how rough it is, and I've seen a couple of camera angles from Pensacola Beach really looking rough out there because of the easterly wind that we have today. It's keeping people on the sand, which I guess is a good thing, and it looks like people have stayed on the sand so far. It is a generally cool start to the day that we have had so far. I will say this afternoon we'll get a little bit milder. We're here on the jet deck, and it's not feeling that bad right now. Nice to see some filtered sunshine out here as well. Let's get to your forecast. We're going to start off here with the next few hours. 71 degrees at noon, becoming 76 degrees at 4 p.m. An east wind at 10 miles per hour. It's a little breezy out here. It's not constantly breezy, though. 74 in Pensacola this afternoon. Now, we could have more clouds later on this afternoon. That could lead to a very, very small rain chance here in the afternoon and evening hours for us. This is as a batch of rain showers and clouds rolls in from the east, moving from east to west. We'll take a look at that in just a few moments. First of all, severe drought has been a problem for us recently. We have severe drought in most of our area. We're actually getting an update on the drought monitor here tomorrow, so be sure to look out for that. But I have a feeling that severe drought will expand. Rain chances, the only thing we have is what you see here on Wednesday and Thursday, very, very small 10 to 20% rain chance with the showers that we could see developing near to the coast. Here's the high resolution futurecast model where there you can actually see the showers popping up this afternoon. Here's 5 p.m. and there's a very limited number of rain showers moving into our Fox 10 viewing area from the east. Then around 8, 9 o'clock, the coverage becomes a little more widespread there. So that might be something to look at with some raindrops in the early nighttime hours. That should clear by Thursday morning, and Thursday morning does look dry. So your rainfall over the next 7 days, again, mostly at the coast with this small rain chance that we see here. Otherwise, no major rainfall totals in the long range forecast. And this is a result of a ridge of high pressure. You see that orange bubble, that orange bump that comes in here? That is a ridge in the upper levels of the atmosphere. A ridge in the upper levels of the atmosphere leads to sinking air. It's an area of sinking air, and sinking air will compress the atmosphere and make it warmer. Also will prevent the development of rain showers and thunderstorms. So we have some warm days ahead as this ridge builds in, and not much is going to happen weather-wise. We're going to be very steady in the 80s, slightly above average. Our mornings will be quite mild, getting well up into the 60s. That pushes about well, almost 10 degrees above average by next week. And looking at the long-range outlook, we're going to stay this way. We're going to stay above average with our temperatures probably through the later part of April with no major systems coming through. So yeah, that's a quiet forecast for us. Down at the beach, it's rough. You saw the surf there. High risk of rip currents is in place today, tomorrow, Friday. 10-day outlook. Quiet weather ahead over the next 10 days with highs in the low 80s. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. It's a viral sleep habit popular on social media. Bedtime stacking has TikTokers carry out their pre-sleep routine in bed, from everything from reading to snacking, even skincare. But experts say parts of this trend may actually sabotage your sleep. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why it could potentially lead to insomnia and what a doctor says will set you up for sleep success.
It's the place where your body's battery is recharged. Your bed helps you catch those Z's, but a social media trend called bedtime stacking has some using it for more than just sleep.
You spend a lot of time in your bed, some of which you're trying to be productive, and that's not productive for going to sleep.
Dr. Brian Chen with the Cleveland Clinic Sleep Disorder Center says bedtime stacking means you bring everything you need to get ready for bed to the bed. That could include beauty and skincare products, books, snacks, a journal, water bottle, or a laptop. This sleep habit is supposed to help a person get things done while allowing them to wind down and relax.
The sacrifice you're making is not perhaps going to sleep as fast as you could. So that could result in you getting less sleep, being more tired the next day.
Chin says bedtime stacking isn't all bad, especially if you need to be better organized or develop a step-by-step bedtime routine. But he says to think through what is in your stack and take away the things that may impact sleep.
This comes down to the tried and true, which is having a good routine and trying to activate that routine at the right times.
For those who struggle with insomnia, Chin says bedtime stacking should be avoided. Instead, he says to create a separate area where you wind down.
Where you become drowsy should be outside of your bed, and in your bed, you just sleep.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Listen to this. Biopharma company Gilead Sciences has agreed to buy German biotech company Tubulis for more than $3 billion. The Wall Street Journal reports Gilead aims to broaden its range of cancer technology with the deal. A key drug manufactured by Tubulis is a targeted cancer therapy currently in mid-stage trials for ovarian and lung cancers. There's also another antibody drug conjugate in early stages of development. Gilead calls the agreement key in its continuing advances in cancer treatment development. Well, coming up, TikTok is expanding its presence in Europe. That story and much more coming up in your business news. Plus, a meeting tonight happening in Baldwin County over the solar farm being built. We have all the details on that meeting after this. But first, Nick, a beautiful day for us out here today.
Definitely so here on the jet deck again, and it is really nice. We do have a little bit of breeze out there, and we're tracking some warmer temperatures as we head into this afternoon. We'll have the details on your forecast coming up. There's a live look from the Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network in D'Iberville.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. Here are your half-hour headlines. Regions Arena now has a name and a big role in downtown Mobile's future. Representatives from the city, Regions Bank, and the Oakview Group were front and center as the official name for Mobile's new downtown arena was revealed. The 10,000-seat venue is now under construction on the former Mobile Civic Center site. We're told the $300 million project is on time and on budget and will anchor a new 22-acre entertainment district designed to bring in major concerts, family shows, and new private investment downtown. City officials tell us they're on track to open before next year's Mardi Gras season. And the Mobile City Council is now considering the purchasing of another round of surveillance cameras for the park system. It's part of an effort launched last year to replace old and, in some cases, non-existent cameras. The resolution is a little more than $141,000 to purchase cameras and accessories from Motorola Solutions. The city has been buying and installing new equipment and hooking cameras up to the Mobile Police Department's network. The council is expected to vote on the purchase contract next week. Finally, Pensacola Habitat for Humanity breaking ground on Hancock Meadows. It's designed to bring some housing stability and a sense of community to 33 families. In fact, it will have homes with 5 different floor plans. There will also be affordable market rate homes for the workforce housing community and community land trust property and homes for their traditional home buying program. Construction is scheduled to start in May, and Pensacola Habitat says they hope to finish building within 12 to 18 months, so families can start to move in as soon as possible. Airfares are going up. Tariffs hit the Ford F-150. TikTok doubles down on Finland, and more people are buying jeans. Here's Fox's CJ Papa with your Fox Business Briefs.
Delta Airlines is telling travelers to brace for higher fares and fewer flights as it faces a spike in fuel costs. Delta lost money in the recent quarter, though it held up better than Wall Street expected. It's the latest U.S. airline to raise checked bag fees, charging $45 for the first checked bag, $55 for the second, and a third bag will cost you $200. Ford is reportedly asking the Trump administration for relief as aluminum tariffs are hitting production of its popular Ford F-150. Ford and other automakers are reeling from the tariffs after 2 fires took domestic aluminum offline, forcing Ford to purchase foreign-produced metal. The Wall Street Journal reports the administration isn't budging. TikTok is investing just over $1.1 billion to build a second data center in Finland. Parent company ByteDance established a presence there last May, pushing to localize data storage in Europe amid regulatory pressure. TikTok has more than 200 million European users. And Levi's had a better-than-expected quarter. Shoppers are buying its high-end Blue Tab denim line and also its signature, more affordable denim, sold at Walmart and Amazon. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Here's your reminder now. You've only got 1 week left to file your taxes. If you've waited until the 11th hour, here are some tips that could help you. First, you can file for an automatic 6-month extension, but that's just for filing. You still have to pay what you owe by April 15th or incur penalties. Experts say you should resist the temptation to use artificial intelligence to speed up that process. Not only is it not trained on complex tax codes, AI-assisted returns may be more likely to trigger audits.
It's been a nice day outside. Take a look at it. This is the Fairhope Pier where we have the flag is not going that much in the wind right now. A really nice day, and you can see the mix of clouds that is out there. It's kind of these mid and upper level clouds, including some cirrus clouds. Really, really pretty setup for us outside. Other views have been really pretty, including here in Mobile on the jet deck. Are outside our Fox 10 studios. You can see blue sky and lots of sunshine out there, but also you do have the clouds that are rolling in. And we're going to have some clouds around through the day today. Let's take a look at what's going on out there. 68 degrees at downtown Mobile right now. East-northeast wind at 10 miles per hour. This is the view from D'Iberville, Mississippi at the Scarlet Pearl here. Next few hours, you're going to have temperatures that go up into the 70, 75 degrees, 76 degrees here. Comfortable conditions overall, though. We'll call it comfortably warm for this afternoon. Orange Beach, that's really rough out there. There's some pretty big waves going on, so probably not the best time to get into the water here. Here's your forecast over the next few hours. Temperatures getting up into the 70s again, comfortably cool, comfortably warm, whatever, however you feel it. You can see the east wind now from Dauphin Island. That flag is pointed right towards this camera on top of the Dauphin Island Sea Lab there on the east end. Temperatures there in the low 70s as we go through the next couple hours. Now, the wind forecast stays out of the east through Friday and Saturday, and because we're southeasterly on Sunday, that is going to continue to aid in this higher risk of rip currents that we have down at the beaches. Your wind forecast, the gust coming in from the National Weather Service forecast data here, 25 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour through the day today and into tomorrow morning. I'm feeling the wind right now out here on the jet deck. The Thursday at 7 a.m., 22 miles per hour, Gulf Shores, 23 in Navarre. So these winds breezy enough to keep the rip current risk high throughout our forecast here. So high risk of rip currents continues through Friday 3 to 4 feet for your surf. Now let's talk about those beach flags. We have red flags that are flying. Does that mean you can't get in the water? No, technically you can get in the water with red flags, but we encourage you not to. Double red flags means the water is closed. Futurecast does show the potential for a couple showers this afternoon or this evening. Here's 9 p.m. and you see a few specks of green on there. So if you have plans this afternoon or this evening, especially late this evening, keep an eye on the conditions. Fox 10 weather app has a great radar function, and of course you can always check the app there to get rain notifications as well. It's an also useful tool. Here's a look at overnight tonight. Any showers should fade, and we'll start with a nice start on our Thursday with mostly sunny conditions. Could see another couple of showers on Thursday afternoon. Rain chance around 10%. Temperatures in the 70s, near 80 degrees. Then Friday morning is another slightly cool one with mostly clear skies. Temperatures in the 50s, getting up into the 70s and low 80s on Friday afternoon. The weekend goes dry as a ridge of high pressure builds in across the area. It is going to be a dry forecast for quite a while here as that ridge builds in. You can see this reflected in our 7-day outlook. It is going to be up into the low 80s this weekend, and that will continue for the foreseeable future.
Nick, thank you. Here is a quick reminder again this morning. You can get much more weather on the free Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. And that's not all. You can also watch all of our live newscasts and get access to our other content like Unwritten Legends of the Gulf Coast, In Depth with Sarah Wall, We the People stories, and so much more. You can download the app for free on your smart TV or with Roku and Fire TV. Speaking of which, Fox 10's Entrepreneurial Shades of Grey podcast, also on the Gulfstream, highlights local stories of business growth and the journey behind it all. This week, what started as taking a few photos for a family member turned into a partnership with Ford Models and eventually a full-time career in fashion photography for Tony Riles. She shares how she learned the business side of a creative industry and what it really takes to build a career behind the lens. This brand new episode drops today. You can watch on fox10tv.com under the podcast tab, on Fox 10's YouTube channel, and the Fox 10 News Gulfstream app. Audio versions are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Meanwhile, a national consumer group warns possible Medicaid cuts could put some rural Alabama hospitals at risk, something the State Hospital Association disputes. The new report from Public Citizen lists 3 rural hospitals it says are vulnerable following President Trump's funding bill, which the Congressional Budget Office estimates would cut about $900 billion from Medicaid over the next 10 years. The report names Grove Hill Memorial, Hill Hospital of Sumter County, and Hale County Hospital at risk of closure. The Alabama Hospital Association says the report misses key details about how Alabama's Medicaid system works and stresses these hospitals are not currently headed for closure.
Neither of those 3 hospitals that they specifically mentioned are on track to close. So let me just be clear, Grove Hill is not closing.
Even so, rural hospitals in Alabama remain financially fragile, Howard says. Grove Hill already shut down labor and delivery back in 2024. But the association says closures are not imminent, and the state is still waiting on $203 million in rural health as part of the funding bill to be dispersed throughout the state. Well, North Baldwin residents fighting to keep a large-scale solar farm out of their community just got a powerful new tool. The Baldwin County Commission passed a resolution yesterday requiring a special referendum to establish zoning in Planning District 3. The probate court now has 90 days to schedule an election. If voters say no, nothing changes. But a yes vote triggers a 100-day moratorium on any development in Planning District 3 while residents form a committee and work out zoning guidelines. But even that may not stop Silicon Ranch from moving forward. The county's planning director explains why the referendum's timing truly matters.
What that means is all projects that apply after that fact will have to wait for 180 days until the zoning maps and local provisions are developed to be able to proceed forward with their project. However, if there's any applications that come in for major projects prior to the referendum vote, they will be grandfathered in and be allowed to continue on their path under the old rules.
So far, the county has not received any building applications from the company, and it's unclear where the project stands in the planning process. Silicon Ranch will meet with concerned residents tonight at 6:30, and the public meeting will be held at the John F. Rhodes Civic Center in Bay Minette. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. Still to come, Krispy Kreme releases its spring menu. Excited for that story. Plus, we celebrate the 100th birthday of the famous Route 66. We'll bring you your Midday Talkers after this break. Welcome back. An integral part of American car culture celebrates its 100th birthday this year, Nick.
Yeah, Route 66 has officially been around for a century.
Wow, the 2,400-mile route stretches from Chicago to the Santa Monica Pier near Los Angeles.
The route traces paths once used by Native Americans and early pioneers.
While Route 66 is known for its roadside diners, neon lights, and slice of Americana, it also comes with historical hardship.
The route has served as an escape route in the 1930s supply line during the World War and has represented mobility and freedom.
The 100th anniversary is expected to bring more road trippers to the historic route. Route or route, Nick? Which one is it?
We flipped each and every time.
We were arguing over the commercial break how to say it. Yeah. I know it's Route 66 in the song, but I typically say route.
Yeah, like every single time I didn't say Route 66, I said route.
I know.
I don't know.
I'm influencing you now,
whether
you like it or not.
This is an interesting conundrum.
Either way,
all right.
Exciting anniversary there. A Bactrian camel named Sophia has been born at a zoo in Bedfordshire, UK.
Bedfordshire.
Bedfordshire.
Yes. The long-legged camel was born on March 21st to Mom Izzy and Dad Oakley at the Wispane Zoo.
Yeah, and a camel keeper at the zoo says Izzy gave birth right in the middle of the paddock when visitors were driving by.
Sophia brings the Bactrian camel Stop. Bactrian camel herd at the zoo of up to 8.
I've never heard of a Bactrian camel. There are fewer than 950 wild camels left in the deserts of Mongolia and China, as hunting and water scarcity caused by humans is largely to blame.
Zoo officials gave the calf the full name of Sophia Raffles, who was the first woman to become a fellow for the charity in 1826.
Oh, how neat. Making the Zoological Society of London the first society to allow women in the UK. The society, by the way, will celebrate its 200th anniversary. At the end of the month, a Bactrian camel is a camel that has 2 humps. Did you know that? Surely you knew that.
So let me tell you what's going on right now, a little behind the scenes. We cannot really see the on-air programming right now, so I had no idea what we were talking about, and I really wasn't paying attention.
Sure, excuses. I'm forever going to say
I can't read.
I'm forever going to say Bactrian camel. That's so funny.
What's next?
Anyway, moving on. Krispy Kreme's spring donuts have officially arrived.
All right, the new flavors include Hershey's double chocolate donut, an original glazed donut dipped in Hershey's milk chocolate icing and topped with chocolate flavored buttercream.
Wow.
See, I can talk about this.
Lots of sugar. Oh, for sure. Me too. And strawberries and cream, an unglazed donut with strawberry filling and fluffy cream.
The donut is dipped in strawberry icing and finished with swirls of vanilla flavored icing.
Returning are the banana pudding donut and the original glazed blueberry cake donut, which is my favorite donut from Krispy Kreme, by the way.
I can barely see them
from what I can tell of this box, though, it looks like a great lineup.
You know what? Every single time we've done one of these, I've been like, oh gosh, I need to go to Krispy Kreme and get one. I have not, which is probably a good thing.
I'm really proud of us.
Yes.
We said we wanted to be healthier this new year, but listen, I say we still get some. I think we kind of deserve it. We've been doing a really good job.
Sure. You know what? I'll let y'all make that decision. Let us know if we deserve Krispy Kreme donuts.
Let us know. Go get us some. We would love it. Thank you for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday. We'll be right back, Nick. We are taking a live look outside. Where?
Dauphin Island Sea Lab there. A little bit of east wind, making it a little breezy. So we'll have more on that forecast coming up.
EveryGreatSpace.com to apply today. Aging Untold. And that's a hot button for me right there.
A new one-of-a-kind show that shines a light on the real issues of aging in America.
It's really about health span, not lifespan.
It's honest talk with real solutions, tools the whole family can use.
Whatever problem you're trying to solve it from a place of collaboration.
Aging isn't the end. It's a new chapter.
Isn't that the goal, just to age just as well as you can?
Aging Untold. Check local listings on aginguntold.com.
Welcome back. Traveling through space and time has never been sweeter. Amanda Sansoni looks at the future in space and takes steps into the past. In today's Take a Look at This.
In space, they say no one can hear you scream. But thanks to 32 cameras and devices located in and around the Orion spacecraft, we can all see what they eat. A jar of Nutella going viral after it appeared floating through the cabin Monday night. While the Artemis II crew has access to a menu of 189 different meal options,
we have to rehydrate a lot of our food.
The chocolatey hazelnut spread may be the tastiest bite of home. As the Artemis astronauts plan to journey home from the stars, a set of stairs that once brought Earthlings closer to the heavens is going up for sale. This is section number 1 of the Eiffel Tower's original spiral staircase that connected the second and third floors of the tower when it was built in 1889. And it could soon be yours. That is, if you've got high ceilings and deep pockets. The 9-foot-tall structure is comprised of 14 steps and is expected to fetch between $140,000 and $175,000 when it goes up for auction next month. As a piece of history finds a new home in Paris, a home belonging to a famed former French minister is revealing history here in the U.S. A team of archaeologists unearthing a brick kiln from the 1700s at Thomas Jefferson's Monticello home.
We started excavating down carefully layer by layer, immediately started hitting brick.
The discovery was made during inspections for some upcoming construction at the site.
This is an active site of research and interpretation and storytelling.
The kiln was used to make bricks for Jefferson's home. Now, more than 2 centuries later, it's helping to add to the foundation of what we know about the past.
There's stories that are still out there waiting to be told.
But take a look at this. I'm Amanda Sansoni.
Some neat stories there. Been so fun to follow the Artemis II mission.
Yes, it has been. All right, let's get a final look at the forecast here. We have a few things that we want to cover. First of all, the beach, where we have rough surf that is happening down there right now. You can actually see the waves are really crashing. It is looking rough. So here's the deal with the next few hours. You can see 74 degrees at 1 p.m., then 75 degrees at 2 p.m. It's going to be a nice afternoon. Pleasant temperatures overall. You can see the forecast highs today: 77 in Navarre, 74 in Destin, 76 in Mobile. Tonight, we could see a couple showers very early. The forecast models have consistently shown a couple rain showers trying to develop, so keep that in mind for your plans this evening and overnight tonight. After 3 p.m., we could see some things try to pop up, and we'll be keeping track of that. Of course, Jason will be watching the radar this evening. Tomorrow, we'll have more sunshine, more like clear sunshine than today. Today, it's more filtered sunshine. 78 degrees in Mobile, 75 Gulf Shores, 77 in Pensacola, 79 in Milton, and 80 in Crestview. If you are down at the beach tomorrow, it's also going to be rough. We're going to keep an east wind. We have a high risk of rip currents in place. So be sure, be careful. Don't go too deep into the water, because that will cause issues for you. We don't want to have so many rescues out there. Reminder to follow the Storm Tracker team on social media. We'll be posting updates throughout the week on the rip current situation and so much more. Here is your 7-day outlook. Temperature 82 degrees by the weekend for Saturday and Sunday, 82 Monday and Tuesday. And you know what? The 82s stick around through the rest of next week, it feels like. I really don't see any big temperature changes. It is going to be just a warm forecast in the long range and pretty quiet. No major rain chances either.
Yeah. And we can feel that breeze picking up a little bit out here, which definitely helps it feel like a lovely spring day. Thank you, as always, for watching Fox 10 Midday. We'll see you for Fox 10 Live right back here in the same place at 3 p.m. Have a wonderful Wednesday.